In the last few days, you've got Yang around 3% in Morning Consult. That was on October 12th. 2%. I'll make this a little bigger for you guys. 2% in Quinnipiac. Oh, God. Yeah. 2% in Quinnipiac, 2% in YouGov. So these are not fantastic numbers. Now, you could argue if there was a post-debate bounce, maybe we just have it, that hasn't baked in yet, because when was that debate? I don't even remember the dates anymore. When was October Democratic? It's been a very busy week for me. October 15th. Okay, so it was October 15th, and now let's look at these numbers. These polls, so this 2% showing would be pre-debate. This Economist YouGov one would be, you know, the last day of the debate. So none of these national numbers are reflective of the potential debate bounce. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to keep it real and acknowledge that you really don't want to be, you know, I think we really want to be closer in the 5% national numbers by now. And so I do feel like we're a little bit behind, but I do have some good news. So the good news is if you look at Iowa, there was a poll that came out that had one day post debate included October 16th. And here you see Yang at 5. So if you look at how we've done, we've never had 5 before. So like, where are we here? Oh, this is the average for Iowa. We're still in this clump. But as you can see, maybe it's easier to look at the table. As you can see, who is higher than us in Iowa? You've got Warren and Biden tied. Sanders at 13. That's a pretty weak showing for Sanders. Ooh, Buttigieg at 16. And then us. So we are ahead of Harris, Booker, Steyer, who we know who has been pouring money in. What? Bullock. Wow. Bullock has 4. Interesting. So Iowa, you could say this is a pretty good showing. Like, let's see, look, all of the historic Iowa numbers. We've got this 5 here, which is the most recent one. We've been at 0, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 0. We've never been above 3. 3 used to be our personal best in September. And so we jumped quite a bit, you know, 60 something % over our previous personal best. So that's super encouraging. Let's see how we're doing in New Hampshire. Okay, New Hampshire. Okay, you got 10, 13. So this one is also pre-debate, and we're at 1, although we were at 5 according to CBS YouGov. So I think the takeaway is either that debate probably helped us a little bit because the poll where we're showing the best, the Iowa one, is the only one that includes post-debate data, whereas this New Hampshire one, you know, ended October 13th and the debate was on the 15th. So hopefully we see something similar in New Hampshire, and let's look at South Carolina. South Carolina, we are at 1. But again, this one was ended October 11th. So again, does not reflect the, hopefully, post-debate bounce. And why don't we look at Nevada while we're at it? We rarely talk about Nevada, but that's an early state as well. It's on Feb 22nd. Here we're at 3. And that one's way old. It's September 26th. So I think TLDR on the polling is that we need to wait a few days to let the next round of polling results come in. But the one result that has a little bit of post-debate data is the Emerson, Iowa poll. And that's the one where we happen to be doing the best. So you never know. Maybe this debate did really well. Okay, so now let's go into the what do we got next? Let's look at Google searches and Facebook searches. So hold on one second. Okay, so this is the Google search data for, and let's do last 7 days. And what you see here is, okay, you see this big surge basically because of the debate. And I'm just comparing Buttigieg, Harris, Sanders, and Warren just to make it a little bit easier. And you see basically Buttigieg, wow, he got a lot of searches. So he definitely had a good showing. I think part of it was the way the camera was set up. They showed 4 candidates, Biden, Warren, Sanders, and Buttigieg. So he definitely got a lot of face time, even if he didn't get that much more talk time, although he also got more talk time. Again, Yang was sort of in the bottom third in getting talk time, but I feel like he did probably best. You could see he was way more comfortable. And then Yang had similar searches to Harris and Sanders, and a little bit less than Warren. And then if you look at that's at 8 p.m. Now, if we go forward and see where did you get sort of residual search activity, then you see Yang really actually leading the pack. And then if you go to October 16th, the day after the debate, you've got still strong showing for Yang, but Buttigieg, Sanders, and Warren, generating a lot of interest. And then lately, I guess October 17th, which was yesterday, we had nice activity for Yang. Wonder what happened yesterday. Let's see here. Past day. What was going on? What? A lot of searches for Yang at 6:30 Pacific yesterday. Let's see if we can find what the search terms were. Jordan Wiseman. Huh. Who is Jordan Wiseman? Andrew Yang, Jordan Wise. How do we spell Wiseman? 2 S's, 2 N's. Okay. Oh, he's a Slate piece. Publish a Slate piece. Ooh. Not exactly a super positive piece. Basically taking issue with Yang's predictions about automation. Then they have the exchange between him and Warren. AP fact check claim that Yang was right. You know what? I'll take this article. I think if they're talking about us, that's a good thing, even if it's not the most positive. So I guess that's what drove a lot of interest. Stagecoach, Rachel Maddow. Yeah, he was on Maddow. So that's cool. So I would say in terms of searches, let's go back to the last 7 days. Over the last 7 days in total, you've got Warren definitely getting more than us, then Sanders, and then us. Sanders, you could probably discount because there's still so much interest over his health issues. And we're ahead of Buttigieg and certainly ahead of Harris. I mean, I think Harris is really the yellow line here. You don't want to be this yellow line. I don't think that's a good looking place. That's not a good look. And then we talked about the searches, about Wiseman. And yeah, let's see what people were searching for our friendly competitors. Buttigieg, pocket change, Harris. Wow, Ron Reagan. What's going on with Ron Reagan and Harris? Ron Reagan, Harris. Atheist group. Oh, he did a plug. Interesting. What does that have to do with Harris, though? Control Harris. Interesting. Not sure. All right. Well, let's focus on the data. So let's look at YouTube searches. Oh God, we so own YouTube. I've as you can tell, I've not looked at this data myself till this live stream, but we are crushing it on YouTube. So hats off to all the folks out there making great YouTube content, not just the official campaign, but all the Yang Gang content creators. You guys are killing it. And we should just keep doing that because I think this will be a great advantage for us. Yeah, who else is doing good on YouTube? Elizabeth Warren. What is her YouTube presence looking like? Let's see. Elizabeth Warren. I wonder if there are a lot of channels about the Warren campaign. Not really. I don't think she has quite like the equivalent of the Warren gang. And there's some, but most of these don't have that many subscribers. But then if you do the same thing for Andrew Yang, and then we filter by channels, you see Grassroots 7,000, Paget 15,000, PSP 12,000. So Yang Gang HQ, Make America Think Harder. So Zach and Matt, those guys are working hard. Yeah, so I would say we are still clearly winning the race for YouTube searches. And specifically, while we really do well on the West Coast and a little bit of the East Coast, and we struggle in the Midwest, which is not fantastic, although, yeah, Iowa. Freaking Warren. Warren and Sanders have more YouTube action than we do. So in Iowa, which obviously is very important. We are number 3. And then in New Hampshire, we are number 2, tied with Bernie. So that's looking pretty good. So shout out to Steve Marchand for working hard in New Hampshire. What about South Carolina? Ooh, number 1 in South Carolina searches. I like that. Okay, this is all YouTube again. So that is that's that for the social. So in summary so far, polling national, too early to tell, don't have any data post debate. But honestly, like, I think those numbers need to be higher. I won't be happy personally until we get over 5%. But we just got to keep working at it. Now, we did get 5% exactly in the Iowa poll, which did have 1 day out of 3 of post-debate representation. So that's encouraging. So the next few days, we should hopefully see some interesting polling results. And then in search activity, you gotta give credit to Warren. She definitely is doing very well in Google search. We are still leading the way on YouTube search nationally, but Warren is leading the way on YouTube search in Iowa, which is a challenge for us. Okay,